yet. Okay, let's see, someone's recording. And yeah, and we haven't launched any missions on Polygon as well. So let's look into what we have achieved. And that's not much. So first of all, kind of like to share, September was the month where some of our team members took a break after working nonstop since the January this year. So we decided to give a couple of people, especially core people, to rest on the dev team. So on a product launch site, there's not many updates, but just to give an idea, what are the biggest highlights. First one is we finalized missions, mining mission gameplay, and we built the clickable prototype, basically a version which works without backend. You probably have seen it on the Fuji testnet, so that's one is working. We had a chance to test it; it works well, and yeah, so that's completed. That was actually biggest chunk of work since we worked on integration of front end. Separately, backend integration been working for a while, and we still finalizing this. Second thing, we my bad, guys, not leaderboard, UI improvements. So we launched UI improvements. Notably, it's new wallet look, it's avatar filtering, it's homepage Polygon statistics. So it's a minor changes that we were able to do while our backend was mostly busy working on mining mission backend. So that's what we were doing. And lastly, we not included here, but we did a lot of changes to our internal analytics. So we kind of cleaned up our stats to have a better reporting. So that's something that is a good thing. And now on the side of what we planning to do in October. So most weighted thing is, of course, mining missions. That's something we're finally launching this month. I'm expecting this to be happening hopefully next week. So this week we are having, Lagushka can confirm it with me, but we planning to have a testnet live ready. Let's see how it goes. If it's ready, we'll be able to share with you guys. If not, probably next week. Then we're gonna work on Web3 profile. So that's the first move towards building your virtual identity in Web3. It's also important here is not just your identity, but also by having your profile, you can have you know all your statistics across multiple apps within MarsColony worlds, right? And you can also be able to, of course, create your nickname and be able to actually compete with other people in terms of missions, in terms of colony development. And without profile, without identity, you cannot do it, right? So since, as you guys know, a lot of people have multiple avatars, so we have to have something more, more like your virtual identity. That's something we're gonna have, and that's probably gonna be coming in October. Lagushka, can you confirm if we can do it in October, just to check on this. We're good, right? On this item. Okay, I can confirm later. And of course, leaderboard. So once we have profile, once we can of course launch leaderboard, which we been doing for a while before. And leaderboard, where players can compete against each other in terms of leveling, in terms of XP, in terms of the colony progress. And colony progress, that's something that we're gonna be introducing hopefully moving forward. And I'm gonna talk a little bit on that and why we're doing that. So that's a leaderboard. These 3 items we're trying to prioritize for October. So mining missions, Web3 profile, leaderboard. And now what we plan to do after that, and also if you have time, of course. So first of all is, of course, is what I mentioned is one of the problems we were facing before and we received from community is that there's no kind of rationale for why do you upgrade, why you buy in facilities. Essentially, before people consider this more like a way for you to gain passive income, like in forms of colony token, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense if you just like buying facilities like without actually any reason. So we are introducing competition here. We're building colony development rank, which serves some sort of like if you played old terraformation games, or not all, but like newest, like for example, Mars Terraformation. It's sort of like your development level for your basically your colony. So and the colony is could be one land plot, could be a couple, but essentially one land plot. And as you build facilities, as you progress on the mission side, you're developing your essentially a colony, and you can compete on in terms of how fast and how progressed you are compared to other players, how developed your land plot is, and also how developed the whole colony. It means like all of the land plots compared to other planets that are launched. So that's sort of like more will look like and will work more of like a strategy game. So that's something we're going to be presenting in more details in October. We have already templates, so probably we're going to work with the focus group with the team and see how we can make this happen. We have some write-ups on this, and hopefully if you guys are interested, we can also share. We have it in our guide. And there's the benefits of this, of course. First of all, it's going to be competition between people or players as to who's going to develop your land plot faster. Like also we'll be having more facilities to build, and of course by building on your land, you're essentially burning tokens, so it's going to lead to higher burn rates in general and high utilization. And yeah, lastly, items that we delayed before, but in-app marketplace essentially is quite important. And lastly, features that are less, I would say, not kind of like user-facing, but something that also important to add is we also still having in plan to build free-to-play option to be able to enable anyone to join and play mining missions and other missions. We also still have plans to build reward slashing functionality. And what I mean by this is ability for players to, it's like a need for players to come to the app every other day, like every 36 hours, to be able to claim and not lose portion of the rewards, passive reports. That's something we shared before, and of course we can give more details on this feature. And lastly, it's of course it's more for the usability. Cross-chain app right now, as you see, Polygon is a separate subdomain, Harmony is another subdomain, so that's not user-friendly. And in the future, if you're going to be launching more planets, that's not going to be, doesn't make sense to keep different subdomains. It's not usable. So these are the things we are plan to do on the product side. But now, as I mentioned, anything beyond product in terms of the how are we going to focus on, and probably you have a lot of open questions, like how are we going to focus, how are we going to address utilization, how are we going to address, colony price and stuff like that. So that's something we can work on a separate call, and that's something we already started looking into with a small team. But on the side of the product, just let me know what you think. Any feedback, comments, questions. I'll stop sharing in the meantime. Let me just check, maybe there's AMA chat questions. All right. I mean, if there's no questions, also right, because I guess it was quite brief and you're quite familiar with the features we planned before. So then, in that case, anything else you guys want to discuss here? Let me just check maybe. All right, cool. So if there's no questions, then we're gonna get back to y'all in terms of the next steps on the an AMA on the side of the product and general improvements. And if you have any questions later on, just drop in an AMA chat. Yeah, looks like it's quiet today, but it's also like I mean. On my side, our marketing guy went on vacation too, so he didn't do any announcement, and I guess that kind of explains why we kind of don't have newcomers today. maybe it's even good because, again, we're trying to focus right now on building, trying to focus on addressing fundamental problems. And we're also trying to still keep on our course towards getting enough resources for us to be able to increase the team size and develop features faster and better. And that's something that we're trying to do, but at the same time, not always can do that in the current bandwidth. So yeah, I would like to thank everyone for joining today. And if there's no any other questions, just see you all next month or on the next AMA.